I just finished my morning workout, and I just wanted to share that this morning when my alarm went off, I really did not feel like going to the gym. I felt tired, I felt unmotivated, and I think it had a lot to do with last night. I ended up eating bites of shawarma right before I went to bed. This is not a typical habit for me anymore. So I went to bed, woke up, and then I didn't realize that I was kind of feeling a little bit of shame, a little bit of guilt, not motivated, tired, didn't want to go to the gym. I went anyway, and I was trying to warm up on the treadmill. I had no energy. And then as soon as I put on this particular song that reminds me of my future, the person that I'm trying to become, immediately my energy picked up. And it reminds me of this line that I read from this book. I've been studying personal development for more than half of my life, and even still I slip and I get caught up and revert backwards sometimes. It's in the book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural, and he says that where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And if you're placing your attention on old memories and those old emotions, it was something along the lines of this, you're actually siphoning your energy into your past. And how I see this is I was siphoning my energy into my past self, the guilt, the shame, those old programs and habits and patterns of thinking was bringing my energy down and making me feel like I was reverting back into those old patterns. As soon as I played that one song that reminds me of my future self, immediately my energy picked up and I reverted my energy back into the person I'm becoming and the future that I am building for myself. So having that one song that really brings your attention back to who you're becoming, the vision you have for yourself, it's a very helpful tool, especially because you're getting emotionally in alignment with that person again. Having those deep emotional connections actually helps rewire the brain. So that is a tip that I use when I'm low energy or I find that I'm kind of reverting backwards, or if I'm stressed and overwhelmed. Having a go-to playlist of music to get emotionally involved again with the right energy, that's been very helpful for me. And then one other thing that I want to share is there was a time after I had my baby and I'm trying to get back into my gym routine again. I wasn't being consistent. I had no motivation. It was hard to get going. Something so small as to making sure that I always have my gym clothes put aside the night before has helped immensely. It's just one little detail that's really set me up. So when I wake up, I don't have to think. I just go straight to my pile of clothes, put them on, drink my coffee, go straight to the gym. So having good systems in place that support you when you're in those vulnerable moments where you're tired, you don't feel like it, you have low energy or low motivation, having those systems is a really good foundation for supporting you through those times where it's just easier to say no, but the systems help you to say yes. Today is a Friday and we have like no groceries. We've really cleaned out the fridges and the freezer. We usually get groceries once a week and we skipped a week, so we're really down to like nothing. I'm just enjoying a cup of coffee. My baby is still sleeping, so I have a moment to myself, which is really nice. But today's definitely not a day of perfect conditions. I don't even know what my eating's gonna look like today, but I'm gonna roll with it. I am still working on having better systems when it comes to the weekend, because usually I splurge a little more. I'm more lenient on the weekend. So something that I do typically on a Friday or on a Saturday, because we usually are socializing more or having barbecues, going out to eat more on the weekend. That's usually when things get tough. So on a Friday, what I like to do is keep it really light. I'll focus on getting my protein, but I'll eat a lot more vegetables and light foods, lower calorie, high volume foods, to save room for if I want to have a treat in the evening, like go for an ice cream on a Friday, or if we're gonna go to the movies and have some popcorn. So I like to keep the majority of my Friday and Saturday light, unless, for example, we go out for lunch on a Saturday, then I'll keep it light in the morning and keep it light after lunch tomorrow. But for today, I don't know what today is gonna look like. I'm not really sure our plans. And as I said, I don't really have a system in place for the weekend. I'm still navigating what that looks like because it's really easy to get off track on the weekend and have that restart Monday mindset, which I no longer am doing. So you're pretty much following along how I'm navigating that too realistically. My baby's awake now, so I'm gonna make some breakfast for him and I quickly. I don't have a lot of time typically when I'm making meals because he demands my attention. So this morning I'm gonna make a protein smoothie. So I don't make my protein smoothies as a meal replacement. I make my smoothies as an addition to my breakfast. So the majority of my smoothie is really just water and protein, and I add a tiny bit of frozen fruit, which is usually frozen berries, but I don't have any right now. So I'm gonna add in a tiny bit of these mango chunks. Before I started counting calories and macros, I used to throw in a ton of fruit, bananas, avocados, and I didn't realize how quickly the calories added up until I started tracking. It has been an incredible tool for me because I really started educating myself and learning what's in my food and just how fast calories add up and how I can make better swaps and alternatives, how I can make meals lower calorie, higher volume, just things to support me in my fat loss goals, and I've been getting really good at it. After my protein smoothie, I'm going to make my breakfast. All I have is eggs and tuna and some cucumber. I'm gonna make something with that. Usually I have egg whites on hand, but I always add to like 1 egg to really get that protein in, and then also have a lot more volume and a lot more food that I can eat. It works better for my macros, but I don't have any egg whites, so let's see what I make with that. So this is my quick and easy breakfast, just using whatever I had on hand in the fridge until I get some groceries. I like to eat hot sauce with my meals. It's my favorite condiment and it has no calories. Lucky me. So I've been busy all day. I've been cleaning nonstop since I got home from my walk and tending to my baby, and I haven't felt hungry all day. I think all that protein that I ate for breakfast has really kept me satiated. I've also been distracted because I've been so busy, but it's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and now I'm gonna make my son and I something to eat. Later on, we might get some groceries and make dinner from the groceries that we get, or we might go out for dinner as a family. I'm not too sure yet. So I'm just gonna gather whatever I have in my fridge and whip something up to eat. I'm definitely not having any more eggs, so I'm going to share a piece of chicken breast with my son, have some more cucumber, carrots. I'm not gonna do much of the arugula or sour cream, and have some delicious lemon water. And see how much chicken I'm gonna get. Let's see this. We have 96 grams of chicken. So this is the lunch, the late lunch that I came up with. I just added a pickle from the jar, jalapeno because I love spicy, 2 olives, some healthy fats. These avocados took forever to ripen, so we have these available to eat. And that's the rest of my carrot and cucumber, my lemon water. I just threw my chicken in the air fryer and it cooked fairly quick. Times when my son is not happy and I have to whip food up as quick as possible, things like this work. I just add little bits to the plate. But I actually enjoy cooking very much. My husband is Mexican and I've had to learn how to cook Mexican cuisine. So we do eat a lot of tacos and different Mexican foods. They do say that repetitive meals, like eating the same kind of meals often, can really help support weight loss goals. And for me, I like to try new things all the time, or new recipes, and lots of variety. So I'm always trying new recipes, which does make it more difficult and a lot more work, and especially when it comes to tracking. But you know, like days like this when things aren't planned, you have to throw things together quickly. It works. I do also want to mention that for long-term success, I don't plan to always be counting calories and macros. This is just still part of my educational journey where I have to still understand and see what calories look like. And over time, it just will become second nature where I can eye out a piece of chicken or some meat and, you know, different foods and kind of have a general idea about how many calories are in them. Another thing too, like the old me used to just eat an entire avocado and not even think twice until I realized how many calories are in an avocado and how expensive it is calorically, and how I'd rather just save those calories for later on or for other foods that I'd rather eat, but I can still have a taste. The mistake I used to make was, oh, well, these foods are healthy, so it should be fine. It's okay. All these foods are healthy, but it doesn't matter. You cannot lose weight if you're not in a calorie deficit, and you can still enjoy the health benefits. So that's part of the new habits that I've been initiating on my weight loss. So my husband ended up stopping at his parents' house after work for a little visit, and his mom ended up making cochinita pibil, which is a pork taco, and she sent lots of leftovers over for us, so I don't have to cook tonight or get groceries. So my husband and my daughter ended up going to the store to buy tortillas and salsa because I don't have anything to make salsa. The problem is they can't go to that store without buying a whole bunch of other goodies and things that he used to eat in Mexico, like these, for example. What are these? I don't even know what these are. And like these little cookie treats. When they got home, they opened it up and I had one. And I didn't read the label, and I had one single cookie and read the label after, and it's 40 calories. They ended up also picking up one of these little coconut macaroon treats that I love. So I might just have that after dinner later. But there used to be a time where I would not be able to just eat one single cookie. I would just have intentions to eat one and end up eating like the whole bag. That was also a time where I was very strict with like all or nothing thinking, and I was very restrictive where I'd have to follow my diet perfectly, and then if I didn't, I'd sabotage. And because I don't restrict anymore, that I can enjoy little treats here and there and just be happy and satisfied and move on and not feel like, oh, I'm gonna restrict come tomorrow, so I gotta eat it all now and kind of like get it all in. So it's a huge shift for where it used to be till now. And if I did just like eat this whole bag of cookies, I would probably end up sabotaging the whole weekend also, and then restarting on Monday again, which is just not the person that I am anymore. I've been shifting away from that. It's a process. You know, I still have my slip ups. This is the pork I'm just warming up for the tacos. Cochinita pibil. Gracias, mama. I'm just heating up the tortillas. I prefer the corn tortillas tonight, and my husband wants the wheat flour tortillas. Here is the pickled onion with some chili, and we're gonna use this salsa because we don't have anything to make salsa tonight. I'm just gonna weigh the pork I'm gonna put on my tacos. We got 109 grams. So these are our tacos for dinner. None of this day was planned. We got lucky and ended up with tacos. Oh. My husband and my daughter want to have quesadillas, so they just added cheese to some tortillas. I'm gonna opt out today because I prefer to save my calories for later. So I'm all finished dinner. We're watching some soccer now. I feel full and comfortable, but the tacos were excellent. So I could definitely eat more because they taste so good, but I'm already comfortably full. And if I was to eat any more, I just wouldn't feel comfortable. So what I like to do is just pause, wait 20 minutes, and if I am still hungry, I would have more, but I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty full.
America ends up wrong side. He just never looks confident. Ball's always bobbling.
Quick note from today, I ended up eating under my calorie target. I didn't plan this, it wasn't intentional, it just ended up this way. I felt satisfied all day long. I wasn't white knuckling through hunger. I worked with the food that I had on hand. I didn't plan these meals ahead of time. I just whipped meals together that I knew that would keep me satisfied, just working with the ingredients that I had on hand. So the calories that I ate today is not a number that I'm aiming for tomorrow by any means. I do want to be within the range of my calorie target while in a deficit, but some days I may be over my calories a bit, some days like today under my calories. The real win today and every day that I strive for is combating that all or nothing thinking, not being super restrictive or trying to be a perfectionist with my diet. I leave room for foods I enjoy while focusing on healthy, whole foods that keep me satisfied and full and feeling good and fueling my workout. So this is what truly matters for me, not spiraling into that binge cycle. If this progress over perfection type of vibe resonates with you, hit the subscribe button so that you can follow along for all my future videos. See you in the next video.